Good evening,
Ooh.
everyone. We have a rainy Albert Park for round 10 of Apollo Racing Club's F1 2021 Tier 1. I am Hollers, joined by my colleague Vans. How you doing, Vans?
Good. And this is interesting. This is a wet quali here in Australia. I did not expect this tonight, and that's going to make it so much more interesting.
Oh, yeah, it is exciting. So I've got the standings up on the screen. Action is our current championship leader by 9 points, followed by Gore, and then X-Max, 46 points behind him. SoCal Blazer is in 4th, Smithy's in 5th. We've got Ginger, 6th, Aslan, otherwise known as Kubi, in 7th, NYK, Dingwu, and RRK Lawrence, who's only one run, one race, is in P10, getting the fastest lap and the win. I'm going to take down the standings as we have Rogue already out on track along with his teammate Ruda, and then we got Gore out too, and Feline Phenom. So we've got 2 Alpha Tauris and 2 Ferraris out. Looks like Rogue is the first out, so I'm going to stand with him. For those who have been following Real F1, you will know that this year, assuming the Australian Grand Prix goes forward as I think it will this year, this track has, in real life, gone through a reprofile, but the game has not picked up on that. So it's still the original layout with 16 turns, with the turn 9-10 chicane and the original 11-12 chicane complex that we see with Gore. There are 3 DRS zones. Gore has gone through the 3rd of them. Vans, you're the more recent active driver than I. What are you thinking for strat tonight, assuming we get a dry race?
Well, I did check, and it is going to be a dry race according to Max, so we'll probably see the classic medium to soft, probably, is what I assume most drivers here will do tonight. I haven't raced in this track in a bit, so I could be wrong, but I believe normally it would be a soft to medium, but since they are going to have free tire choice, most of them will do medium to soft.
So I assume if we're going to have a most likely dry race, everyone's on dry setups for this wet quali, which could make things interesting. Dry setups in the wet are not always the easiest to handle, as Gore goes through, turn 3-4. It's about to come up with sector line. See how his first sector's looking. His sets of 31.7. I think Gore's one of our pacier guys usually, so it's probably a pretty good sector 1
and
in the wet.
Gore is really good in the wets too. I think he's very fast in that, and honestly,
SoCal's already retired on his out lap. We might actually see his car as Gore's actually coming up to it as he comes through 9-10. This fast chicane here, I believe the inside curb of 12, if you get it wrong, it will still super unsettle the car in this game. Is that right?
Not sure, but I do know that Pfeiffer loves to spin in that corner often. Every time I believe he's done this race, he's spun there. So
I remember last year touching that curb just wrong. That was an instant DNF. I honestly haven't run it in this iteration of the game. I did 1 season this year, and just didn't have the time to do it anymore. We didn't run it last season. So Gore's coming to the finish line. He sets I think it's going to be 135. Yeah, 135.0. So that's our benchmark here. Rogue is next. Ruda with 134.7. Let's see what Rogue can do here. He's going to set 135.9. So Ruda's the man to beat for now, as we've got an Aston of, I believe that's going to be X-Max coming through. No.
Oh, that's Ginger.
Ginger. It said Ginger was on an out lap. Oh, he's on an out lap. The inside of time. So we don't have anybody else could get us P3 135.6. We've got Feline Phenom, I believe. She's invalid. Unfortunate for her. And then Ginger, I think, is going to be the first Aston to set a time. Not Ginger, excuse me, X-Max. I know he's on a hot lap. Well, he's 56.2. I think was his sector 2 time. He's currently at 127 as he comes through the final turn. He's drifting there. It looks like he's going to have a quick lap with 134.4. So the track quickly, I think, evolving as we've got The Action, our current
Smithy.
championship leader, the 5 Smithy, 134.45, so about 2 hundredths faster. Action's in P5 with a 35.5. QB set at 135.8 while we weren't looking. And then we've got a Mercedes of Calculus.
Oh, Ginger almost spun exactly
that.
where you're talking. That little curve, he
there's
lost it there.
I don't know why it's still there, but one of SoCal Blazers' wheels, I think it's his, is sitting at the exit of turn 13. Or maybe it's the entry to turn 13. I couldn't quite tell. That is interesting. I think Ginger, he said he almost spun, so I doubt this is going to be a competitive lap, but let's see what he does.
Okay, I might just want to set a time on the board.
That's actually not bad, considering he almost lost it. 135.0, P5, faster than Gore. It looks like a lot of guys are staying out. Gore's already done 2 laps. Looks like he's on a fly. Let's go back to Gore. He, last week in Austria, was looking set to jump the Action for the World Drivers' Championship, but some late race shenanigans helped the Action to P2 to extend his lead. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2. Is that for Ruta or Rogue? It's going to be for Rogue.
That is.
It's missing a wing.
And Ginger's coming up onto him, but...
And it looks like Gore's 9/10 faster through Sector 2, so he's flying. If he keeps that pace up, he's easily into P1. Let's see. And you can see the wheel of SoCal there on the DRS straight. I don't know why this virtual stewards had not cleared that. All right, so turn 15, get this nice little hairpin into the fast right-hander. It can be a little treacherous sometimes. You can't get on it too much too early. Gore's still looking very good. I think he's going to set the 134s. 133.6. Wow.
Oh, Ruta just right behind him. One ups him again.
That is impressive. Let's see. Who do we have? We've got I think, is that an Aston? Is that Ginger? Yeah, it's Ginger. He's 4 seconds off, so he's going to come in. This is an in lap. That's an interesting call. You know, usually with these wet qualies, we get quite a few people who go and they fuel up, they do multiple laps. These enters, they don't wear too terribly much, and they tend to do better with a little bit of temperature in them. And depending on how hard it's raining, you know, as the track starts to dry out a little bit.
Oh yeah,
they come in.
It was really storming at the start, and now it's getting much lighter.
Yeah, let's see how. Yeah, it looks like just light rain right now. Looking on Max's onboard as he comes through turn 16, up to the line. I think this is going to be a really quick lap. He's going to be in the one. Yeah, that's bull 133.1, followed by is that the Action? Yeah, Action improves to a P4. With a 133.8, and then we've got, is that Guinness or QB? It's QB coming through.
It's QB.
And he's going to do a 135.0, and then RRK Lawrence, I think did he just start flying lap?
He did one, but he had invalidated that lap. But we'll see how he can do in the wets. I assume that he'll be very quick, but I don't know.
Gore comes around again. He goes faster yet, 132.7. So this track, I think there's a dry line developing. If you look on the onboards, there's a little bit of rain coming down, but it doesn't look too terribly heavy. You can really only see it. I've got my graphic settings basically on max. You can really only see it on the halo bar. So I don't think there's much rain coming down as Guinness finishes an out lap. This is currently in P9. Let's go on with RRK Lawrence. So for those of you who are new here to ARC, some people know RRK Lawrence as some idiot or Cody. He's invalid, so actually I'm going to go on to, let's see, who do we have coming through? I think that's an Aston of, is it Ginger? No, it's Max. No, that must be yeah, that's Max. So anyway, RRK Lawrence, he is probably the fastest man on raw pace. Currently in Tier 1. He's a reserve, though, as Max does set pole with a 133.7, almost flat. He won last week, did a last to first challenge, made it look easy. I don't think he set a valid quality time the entire race last week, but he definitely has some raw pace. I'm not sure how his wet pace is. Vance, do you know?
I don't know. But it looks like he might just be doing the same thing where he wants to start in the back.
Yeah, because he looks like to be purposely invalidating all of these laps.
And Gore, it's just like, you know, they're going back and forth, all these drivers of the fastest lap.
132.3 for Gore. As Ginger starts a lap on some fresh tires. Let's see how much. Let's see. Ginger is the Aston in P8. He fueled up. Let's see, where is his fuel margin? He's got about 6 laps in the tank. About 4 laps in the tank. So still not a ton of fuel. Although we're a little bit later in the quality sessions. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2 for Kubi. He's in the wall. It's turn 9-10 complex. That inside curb there at turn 9 can unsettle you if you take too much of it. And really in the wet, these guys should probably be staying off the curbs anyway. Those can get pretty dicey in the wet. Oh, we missed this. Calculus retired. Did he retire on track?
No, because you can see his dot in the pits. So
yeah.
Been a pit.
That's interesting from him. Let's see. On board with Feline Phenom as she comes to the Sector 1 timing. Let's see how she's doing. She's in a set of 31.4, excuse me. So 0.8 improved so far on her time. Let's see how she does. I'm going to stay on board with her. So obviously with the wet, the drivers, assuming we get a dry race, all 13 of them will have a free choice of tires to start on. I think you said earlier, medium start is probably going to be the preference here. Do you think anyone's going to try to go for the softs to start to get that pace advantage off the line?
Maybe actually. I don't know. Like, you know, with that new rule, right? It's kind of like this kind of gives you a little insight of what it might be like in the next year's game.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because
so it's like you
2022, all drivers, no matter if it's a wet or dry quali, get a free choice of start tire. I think it's start on fresh, used, whatever compound they want. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
It's like, I don't know, like, I don't want to spoil the race, right? But there was at the start some interesting tire starts.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how to say it, but you know, like I didn't expect that. Oh yeah, Ruda going quick. Haven't seen Ruda up there in a while. I know he's aiming for a podium as well, but.
And I'm going to follow our championship leader while you talk us through the tires.
Yeah, I just don't know. I think with that new rule is going to make it interesting. I feel like it's going to open up a lot more strategy for everyone driving in all our leagues. I can tell an ACF one, because we were doing that right now, is that we've had a lot of people do 2 stops in our first 3 races so far, and they've been pretty successful.
You can interrupt. Rogue goes fast with the 31.7, 0.6 faster than Gore.
Yeah, this time is just going higher and higher. That's great to see. I wonder. I feel like Max, he's gonna put in a banger of a lap soon, and I want to see action too.
Yeah, so action's on an lap. I'm gonna go with Feline. I think she's finishing up a hot lap. You know, I was actually thinking when they announced that rule change in real F1 that it was just going to make the starts super boring because I just assumed. So Feline improves by half a second but doesn't improve her starting grid position. Action is now on a hot lap, so let's follow him. But it, you know, again, not to spoil the race, but it wasn't too much of a this isn't really a spoiler for the real race. The start was still pretty exciting, despite the fact that everyone had a free choice of tire compound. I actually assumed. Ooh, let's see. Is he still alive? Looks like he's got his wing too. And I actually figured a lot of people would, or most of the real drivers would start on the alternate compound, but it's sort of a prisoner's dilemma at the front, right? You know, you could start on the mediums to try to go along on your first stint. But if the guy lined up next to you goes on the softer compound, he's probably going to overtake you right at the start. So, with these new cars supposed to be better at overtaking, his action sets up fast as Sector 2, at least according to the game. But so, with these new regulations supposed to improve overtaking opportunities, you'd think maybe track position wouldn't be quite as important, but it seems like so far the teams are still obviously feeling out how true the predictions of easier overtaking are going to be, and probably preferring track position from the start.
Oh, in action, he struggles really hard in the final 2 corners and probably lost all that time he gained in that second sector. That's really sad to see.
But it's still a decent lap with 33.1, but a second and a half off the pace. Is that Gore? Yeah, he's a 10th slower through Sector 2. So I wonder if this is a charge lap. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be deploying. So I think he was charging his battery up. As he does so he's a 10th slower, 32.4. So he's on fresher tires. So my guess is he needed some tire warm up. As we've got the Haas getting out of his way. He's definitely on a hot lap now. As he comes down to turn 3, very tidy looking, taking a little bit of curb on the exit. My experience in the wet is being on the curbs is bad for traction, but Gore seems to be making it work, and Gore's faster than I am, so I'll trust his judgment. As the reigning Tier 1 champ, Vans, when it was wet, did you usually try to stay off the curbs, or did you still use them?
Was there any wet races last season?
I honestly don't know for Tier 1. I didn't watch all of your races.
I don't remember, but if there was a wet race, what I normally do is I go to medium TC, all right? Because I can't trust
yourself.
Myself in the throttle. So
it looks like the virtual stewards finally cleared off SoCal's wheel.
Hey.
So that's good.
And I think, Gore's about to finish a lap here. I think. Let's see. Will he claim?
He was a 10th faster, which is not going to be anywhere near enough for pole. But let's see what happens. Coming to the line, it's going to be quick, but it's not good enough. So he improves by almost 800ths. It's nowhere near enough to get onto pole.
Action. Wow.
Pretty good from the action, too, with a 32.4. Smithy, who was one of our early pole setters, he's down to P10. I don't know if he's just not run many laps or if he's just been unable to improve on his banker. But it looks like he's on a charge lap. He's deploying a little bit, but he's still got pretty high battery. So let's see. I'm going to stand with Smithy here. See if he can take pole back. I think Gore's got enough time for one more lap. Rogue is done. Ginger is done. And so is Feline Phenom. So we're right here at the end of quali. And Max goes third for now with 32.4. Ruda's done at P5. Let's see. Smithy, touches the wall on the entry to 11. Tried to go just a little too wide. Pretty tidy out of 12. As we've got yellow flags for a Haas coming out of turn 10. Coming up. So that's interesting. So there's SoCal Blazers wheel again on the TV camera angle. But when you go on the onboard cockpit, the T-Cam camera angle, it's not there. So I'm assuming that's a glitch on my end. I don't know if you can see it on yours. As Gore goes fastest with a 31.6. Smithy comes around turn 16. There's a Haas, lots of debris. Smithy's going to improve, and it cuts away right away. I think I saw P5.
Well done by Gordo.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We've got our starting order. Gore on pole in the Ferrari. Followed by Rogue in the AlphaTauri, X-Max, P3 in the Aston Martin. So we've got and then Smithy in P4 on the in the McLaren. So we've got 4 different cars in the first 4 rows, or first 2 rows, 3 in the first 3 rows. Action in the Red Bull in P5, Ruda P6, Ginger 7, QB or Aslan 7 or 8, Kaginis and the other Haas in 9, Feline Phenom in 10th, SoCal Blazer 11th, Calculus in 12th, and RK Lawrence in 13th. Notably, SoCal, Calculus, and Lawrence did not set times. Lawrence on purpose, and I think SoCal and Calculus against their will. So let's see how the weather looks here for the full race. Twitch chat is pretty quiet tonight. I don't know if you folks are just not as excited about the wet quality as Vans and I were, or if we've just got a bunch of shy folks out there. What are your predictions, viewers, for number of safety cars with only 13 cars on the grid? Van, what are you thinking? Is this going to be a safety car free game, or is looks like turn 9, 10, and 12 might have claimed a few people in quali. You think that's going to happen in the race?
At least once. I feel like one safety car is due to come out. I'm not sure about multiple unless we see a lot of people struggling for whatever reason, but one is going to be my guess.
So we finally got some action in the Twitch chat. 31 Sword says 2 safety cars. Sin Black Fox is cooking dinner. Torres thinks Rogue's going to kill Gore, giving Action the win. And Niall thinks no safety cars, as they are away for the formation lap.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on the medium.
Oh yeah, 2 tires. So Gore picks the medium compound. This will be interesting because Rogue and P2 is on the softs. So we'll see who can get the better start. I think there's a decent run down to turn 1 as Max is qualified from the formation lap. So he's going to have nice cold tires there in P3. So Smithy's got a good chance to make it to P3 at the start. But as I was saying, there's a decent run down to turn 1. And is the pole grid slot the outside line on this track? I think it is.
Yeah.
So Rogue's going to have the line position. He's going to have the inside line, which I think will give him an advantage. Especially on those soft tires relative to Gore. And let's talk golf. One of our Tier 2 drivers predicts 1 safety car and 1 BSC. I think golf might have it right. Let's finish up the formation lap here. Looking at the Discord, Max says that Smithy hit him on the formation lap, which is interesting that it didn't disqualify Smithy from the formation lap, but disqualified X-Max. And then looking at Discord as well, SoCal Blazer says that he slowed down to let people through on one of his slow laps, and then spun into a wall and knocked his wheels off. All right, grid's reforming. This will be a quick grid form up. I'm going to go on to Lawrence in the back just because the way, well, damn it, camera angles are not good at the back. Calculus is okay. There we go. Feline's pretty good. 3 lights on, 4, 5 lights on.
And
away they go. All right. So let's go on with Rogue here onto his onboard. He does not get a great start.
Yeah, Action is a really good start. He's going to go on the inside, and he does not, but he gets past Action. And there's already... oh, my God. How many people are off? Half the grid is off in turn 1.
Let's go to Guinness. We've got... So, Ginger, Guinness. It's like Smithy. Smithy's down quite a few spots. I'm not sure what happened to him.
Half.
So, that was some carnage there at the start. All right. So, after that exciting start, it looks like people have started to file in. Let's go with position changes. So Ginger, Action gains 2 spots. Ginger's the big loser. He's down P6, and he's still real slow at the back as Rogue tries down the inside at turn 9 on Gore. So the softs are definitely giving him a pace advantage. He's also using a little more battery. But Rogue is going to be real hot to get around Gore early on, because his tire advantage will go away real quick if he has to burn him up. As he goes down the outside into turn 13, switches it back on the exit.
Ooh.
He's got the move done. So
Yep.
Rogue into P1. That's some good racing there from Rogue and Gore, who I believe are former teammates, if I'm not mistaken, from a couple seasons ago. So our big movers at the start. Action's up 2 spots from P5 into P3. Feline Phenom up 5 spots from P10 into P5. RK Lawrence, 7 spots. He's already into P6. SoCal Blazer, 4 spots as Calculus as well. Kubi's down a spot. Ruta's down 4. Smithy, 7. Ginger, 5. Guinness down 13 spots. Guinness pits. So Ginger, let me see. Did Ginger get... He did not get wing damage, even though he got collected there at the start. As Rogue has already put a 1.3 second gap on Gore. And the action is now outside of Gore's DRS as well. And Max is hot on his tail. DRS will activate here at the start of the next lap. They won't have it on the main straight, on the pit straight, because the detection zone is prior to the beginning of the lap. But they will have it right after turn 2, although that DRS zone is not quite long enough really to make much of a move. Let's go. Surprisingly, RK Lawrence, as he sets looks like a fastest sector 2 on the mediums, is not really keeping touch with Feline Phenom. He's outside of DRS, and as we mentioned earlier, he's one of our, if not the most, pacey drivers currently in Tier 1. As Rogue sets the fastest lap with a 25.2. And RK Lawrence beats that on the mediums of the 125.1. So that's what I mean by the pace. So
Never mind. I thought he was going to go for a move Calculus, but he's in the middle of a sandwich right now.
Ginger goes faster yet with a 125.0. He's got tons of free air, so that explains that. Action is reeled in Gore. He had dropped a second.
Someone's off. That is Feline in the wall with no wing. And that wing is flying around as...
She's over the big speed hump. Don't high center yourself there. I think I've done that once on a time trial setup with a super low ride height. Managed to get the car high centered on that big, huge sausage curve there at the exit of turn 4.
So you got this 4-way fight between Ruta, Kubi, SoCal, and Calculus, and Calculus and Kubi on the soft. So they're going to want to get past these guys as soon as possible. Kubi looks like he may have took the morning. He's trying to go on the outside of Ruta. It's not going to work yet. He gets DRS. He's going to have the move here, but Ruta might defend on the inside, which he will, as it's happening in front of him as well. And
bump and run.
Some hard racing between these two.
Kubi gets the move done with a little bit of a NASCAR race strat. As Calculus, let's go with Calculus down this DRS straight. Actually, I'm going to go on with action right now. Doesn't quite have the straight line pace to make it up to Gore, but now he's within 3/10 for the second DRS straight. I don't think he's going to have quite the runway to do it, as Ruta speeds into the pit lane. Unfortunate for him. And, action. Spins at turn 3. Careful there. All right, looks safe. As his teammate goes through into P4. So action's down to P5, which is his original starting spot. So, pretty decent damage limitation, but his tires are going to be pretty warm. Looks like we've got gaps forming, as Calculus did get around SoCal Blazer. But closest gap right now is 7 and 8. It looks like battle for 6, 7, 8. Let's go with Kubi, as he's catching up to SoCal at pretty good rate. He's got it down to 3/10. Let's see if he goes for a move after turn 12. It's really going to come down to who gets a better exit, I think, given the gap.
Yeah. And I think Kubi's going to have it. He might even attempt the move. He is.
Dummy move.
And it kind of works. I don't know how SoCal's going to attack back, but he lets out of it for now.
That was probably the smart call. So now Smithy's next behind him. Smithy, obviously, with that horrendous start, getting spun I assume getting spun was as far as he dropped down. Also burning up his battery. I've got the telemetry up here because I noticed on Kubi's onboard he underfueled. He underfueled by, where did he go? Oh, he's got his on private. Come on, Kubi. Guinness, his teammate, also underfueled. He's got half lap underfueled. Ruda is almost a full lap underfuel. Everyone else is overfueled right now. Rogue has got an extra 1.4, as does Gore.
That's Kubi off into the wall. He does have his wing, though.
Serves him right for not turning on his telemetry. As Max has caught up to Gore, so the softs are still proving to be pacier right now, given pride and grip more so than the mediums.
And he lost his full wing from that. He needs to be careful as the cars are coming. Oh my god, they gotta watch out. It's gonna be a dangerous one, and he's out of the way. But everyone else is also coming this now, so he needs to be very careful not to be dangerous here.
That was a tense moment. Fortunately for him, he's only got a few turns to go till he gets the pit entry. As he goes deep, but I think he'll be out of everyone's way now. All right, so Ginger, let's go with Smithy. I think Smithy is the only driver right now within anybody's DRS. No, he didn't get it, though, for the main straight, it doesn't look like. So nobody's got DRS right now, except for maybe Ruda. Let's see. Yeah, Ruda is going to have DRS on Kubi. Going to maybe get revenge for that bump and run, as it looks like Kubi comes in, because I think he lost, he might have gotten some wing damage. Can't tell, of course, because he's got his telemetry private. All right, as Ruda goes fastest with 24.7. So we got quite the gaps here. Ginger is within Smithy's DRS. Who's that? Is
that is Feline in the Pfeiffer corner, and that's going to be a full safety car right there.
Yeah, let's see. So yeah, looks like she lost it coming out of 12. So that's our first safety car. So the soft runners, I think, are going to have to come in. But the question is, can the mediums go to the end from this point?
Maybe. I don't know. Unfortunately, I haven't done this track that much in this game, but we'll see. You know, we got Max and Kubi on the mediums. Rogue picks up 5 seconds. That's going to hurt.
Speeding. So he goes in. As does Arcalance. Which,
do you think he's going to do what he did last week, where he repits or something?
We'll see. He's going on to the softs.
Yeah,
I think he's going to stay out as Action double stacks going on to the mediums. And he gets held there a little bit. I'm not sure by whom or by what. So Gore gets promoted to P1, SoCal P2, and Smithy P3. They're all on old mediums. Rogue is in P4 on those fresh mediums, followed by Lawrence on fresh softs and Action on fresh mediums. Then Calculus on fresh mediums and Ginger on fresh mediums. And Ruda is pitted again, as he gets another 5-second speeding penalty.
What is going on in the AlphaTauris? Speeding.
And he's going to put on some medium boots, serve his first 5-second speeding penalty. Max is on. He's in. He came in real slow, not wanting to get himself a penalty. And he's going to put on a fresh set of mediums. I can't remember. Did Max? Did he start on the mediums, or did he start on the softs?
Softs.
Okay. So he's got his own pit stop.
For some reason, Kubi went back into the pits and put on softs. Very interesting choice. Maybe he thinks he can climb up the table or grid. And
that's committing him to at least one more pit stop, though. These softs, I do not think will go 20-plus laps. All right, so let's go on with our current race leader. The safety car is going to stay out for at least one more lap, I think. While we're on this, let's go through some Twitch chat here. Anything interesting going on in the chat? Fife with the official Apollo Racing Club account was asking if anybody clipped that. I'm not sure what he was talking about. I assume it was one of the prior incidents. Let's see. In reference to Feline Phenom putting washed in her name, Fife says that he's glad to see that Feline washed up for the race tonight. So I think we'll get the safety car in this lap as Ruda pits again. So you
probably served the other one as well.
Well, you can't serve it under a safety car, can you?
I don't know. I saw his crew waiting, so he probably did. I think it's drive-throughs, which is the one you cannot serve.
I also thought you couldn't serve stop-goes. But I guess I'm wrong.
So he put on more in mediums. So.
He must be out. Oh, he must be out of fresh mediums then. But I don't know why he'd want to. Well, I guess no. He would want to serve a 5-second penalty if you can under the safety car, but that doesn't seem right to me. As one of our viewers mentions that the stream is stuttery. I'm not sure what's going on there. It says my connection is good. So that must, and then using 1.3% of CPU, it says it's 60 FPS. So I'm going to tab out real quick. Well, I'm going to wait to see if the safety car is going to come in.
I don't think it is, because it probably would have set it by now.
Yeah, and the light's still on. The light goes off when it's coming in. But I'm just going to verify before I tab out here. Hopefully this does not break the lobby. Yep, safety car stays out. So bear with us one moment. See if I can get our stream quality up here. Encoder preset is set to performance. Let's do max performance on the encoder. See if that helps. All right, we're back. It's still looking a little juddery on the OBS. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Apologies for the poor frame rate. Unlike Van, I have real cable internet.
Hey, I'm wired in. All right, I got the Ethernet.
Does the audio sound fine though, guys? Can you let us know there in the chat? But so the safety car, does Ruda pits again?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah. It's so weird. It's like, okay, he got rid of both those 5 seconds, and then now he's back on to the medium instead, or crusher.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the game is jerky. I've got a 3080 Ti. My connection looks solid on OBS. It says it's only using 2% of my CPU. So I'm just going to blame OBS. Nothing I can do about it. Sorry, guys.
Safety car's in.
Yeah, so Ruda's going to have to beat feet, though, to catch back up to the end of the tail here. Otherwise, he's really going to be out of position.
Gore is really backing up the pack here. That'll give Ruda the chance to probably come back. This is really early for that, too, so I think this is planned. I think they're in a voice chat or something, and Ruda's like, hey, just wait up for me.
Let's see. Can I see who's in voice chat in Discord? All right. Well, go on the app here. Voice chat. F1. Watch party. Yep. I imagine you're right. They're all in the voice chat together as Ruda does catch up. Safety car is in. So Gore can go at any moment. Looks like he's still waiting.
Got SoCal Blazer right behind him. And then it's a decent start by Gore. SoCal also decent. Smithy under attack by some idiot right off the bat. Lawrence. Is he going to go on the inside? No, he's not.
Lawrence backs out, it looks like. So he did not do an extra stop. He stays on the softs, unlike he did last week. But he's hot in pursuit. As Smithy looks for a potential move down the inside of SoCal, but thinks better of it. Do we have any movement going on? farther down the grid. Lawrence does get around Smithy. Ooh,
Oh, but Smithy puts him on the grass.
The game, I imagine, will make him give that back. I think he did the move off track. Yep.
Yep. It's going to allow Action to possibly look for a move.
As Gore and SoCal are running away, so the fight between Lawrence and Smithy really allowed them to bust a gap real quick. As Gore is going to look to break SoCal's DRS. So we'll have a couple laps without DRS as we come through turn 11 on Lawrence here. Gets a much better exit out of 12. He's going to go down the inside of 13. Gets it done well before the braking zone. All good. So Lawrence is up to P3. Smithy's in P4. And now Lawrence's teammate, our championship leader of the Action, is going to look to do the same. Looks like the Action's able to break a bit later than Smithy on those fresher mediums. Usually seems to be closing up the gaps in the braking zone. As Action, let's see, can he get it done? He's got it done into turn 1. So the Red Bulls keeping up with each other as we've got a pass off. Guinness. Yep. And looks like Kubi dropped down the grid too, but so Guinness spun at turn 1, it looks like. Does he have any wing damage? He is. There's none visible. And on the telemetry, can we see here wing damage? None. So he made it out without wing damage. As Gore has pulled a 2-second gap to SoCal, which is going to make SoCal here, I think, a sitting duck for the DRS if Lawrence doesn't get by him sooner.
Down the grid, you have the Astons trying to defend off Ruta and Aslan here. It's pretty close.
I'm going to stay on with Max for a second here. They're going to start a DRS train as Lawrence did get by SoCal. So he's going to be looking to make up that 2-second
Ruta.
gap.
Never mind, he saved it. That's getting very... but Kubi tries to make a move and he spins too.
Oh,
so
no.
It's a lot of stuff going on back there.
Looks like no wing damage for Kubi either, at least that we can see. All right, so the closest gap is Rogue to Smithy.
Yep, and I
Rogue
think
was
he's
our early
move.
Yeah, he's doesn't have DRS because I believe the first 2 DRS zones, if I'm not mistaken, as we've got Ruta.
Yep, he was in the. Well, I can't see if he had damage though. Does he? Nope. He's good.
He's good. As Rogue gets around Smithy for P5. Rogue was our early leader before the safety car came in. He was on softs to start, switched to mediums. So he's looking to make up ground as Lawrence is,
there's a lot of stuff going on, as you can tell.
Quite a lot of action. Calculus is looking to get a move down on Smithy, who's just going backwards since the restart. I'm not sure what's going on. Does Smithy have damage? Yeah, he's got 3% left front wing damage. And in this game, even the slightest amount of front wing damage will cause awful understeer. I'm going to go with Lawrence because he's going to have DRS on the pit straight on Gore, and I think he's going to easily get this move done. Gore's banked his battery, so he's going to not even deploy. I don't think he's going to defend here. Nope, he just lets Lawrence by as Lawrence sets the fastest lap of the race. I think Gore knows it's not his fight. Lawrence is a reserve. He's probably not going to be in championship contention with three races, including this one, left to go.
Oh, and Ginger has spun, and his teammate narrowly avoids that, and Kubi also narrowly avoids that. And
okay, we're good.
Yeah, that was
Ginger
scary
did
there.
Some donuts, and he kind of whacked his rear end on the wall. Could have caused himself some rear wing damage, but we'll see. As Ruta pits. Oh no!
Once again.
Why did my game minimize? Why are you minimized? All right, I'm back. Sorry, my printer decided it needed to update its firmware and minimize the game right now. As Lawrence already pulled 1.7 seconds to Gore. It's going with the action here. He's trying to get around Rogue. Or Rogue just got around, it looks like. So he's trying to come back on Rogue. Torres asks, how many times did Ruda pit? We can tell you. Ruda has pitted 5 times.
And I believe, like, what, 3 of those were on their safety car?
Sounds right. So maybe Ruda's trying to get the DHL Most Pit Stops award? I don't know. As Lawrence goes faster even than before with a 24.2.
Max might have calculus here. Calculus had a really weird entry into the last corner, and not enough just yet.
They both
They're
had
still
DRS.
behind Smithy.
Yeah. So the only person with a penalty right now is Ginger with a corner cutting penalty, as Calculus will get a second helping of DRS. Smithy defends the inside into turn 3.
And that's going to help.
Calculus goes wide.
They need to be careful here. This corner can dangerously
Kubi's out.
Oh,
You heard it there in the background.
it's a full safety car again.
Second safety car. What can we see? Oh
my God. That's
a weird position. All right, so we've got another safety car. So obviously Gore is going to come in.
I think everyone goes for fresh mediums here and takes them to the end.
Gore started on the mediums, as did Smithy and Guinness. Guinness, no, he switched lap 1 because he had to get a new wing. So Gore and Smithy have to switch compounds, as well as SoCal Blazer.
I think they wait then,
See if they can get one more safety car.
Maybe that. I don't know. Gore's pitting. Let's see what he goes on. I think he'd be going on the hards. I don't know. I mean, maybe softs. Maybe go to 2-stop now. I don't know.
Or you just hold on for dear life and go on to softs.
Lawrence and softs again, and Gore is putting on hards.
Let's see what's SoCal on. Let's see what SoCal goes on to. We'll see Smithy's stop first because he's got an earlier pit box. He goes on to the softs.
And so is SoCal
on the softs. I think in terms of not getting a blowout, you can go to the end on the softs. We'll get a couple more safety car laps, so we'll probably go racing with 12 laps, I think, of racing.
Possibly. I think, honestly, I could see this coming in next lap. Because look how close they are, unless Ruda decides to pit like 500 times again, then lays it. But I think we'll get back to racing pretty soon. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Gore performs because, I do think if, like you said, if it's like 12 laps left, and soft winners may have a little advantage in that.
Yeah. And again, for those who are just joining, I apologize for the weird frame rate on the stream. I've tried adjusting things. Everything looks nominal on my end, but for some reason it's just jittery. So apologies. Anyway, got Ruda's still lagging it. He does not seem to be really putting in much pace to catch up. So perhaps there's some collusion going on. So we were talking before the race, Vans, about the reprofile of this track. You were telling me that you've not found the Assetto Corsa mod that even has it yet?
No, I mean, someone in our community did say that there was a track mod with it, like videos up, but in terms of actually having a downloadable link to it, there's nothing that I've found, which sucks. It'd be nice to see how Sector 2 is and how the widened corners make an effect on this track here.
And we'll find out in just a few weeks in real F1 when they head back to Australia for the first time since 2019.
I'm excited for that race. I love this track, and I hope it becomes the season opener again next year.
I hope so. All right, so things we didn't catch when we were focusing on the guys who had not yet stopped. Lawrence came in for some fresh softs, so he's down to P4. Rogue, the Action, and Max stayed out on their second set of tires, which are mediums. So I think they're still going to try to go to the end. Lawrence is going to get around them pretty quick.
Yeah.
Calculus came in, as did Ginger. Ruda stayed out, the man of 1,000 pit stops. Guinness came in for some new softs. So I think the safety car is going to come in. Guinness will catch the tail here right now. So we should get the indicator here. Yep, there it is. Lights go off on the safety car. So
I
safety
think,
car will be
yeah, I'm going to be on board with Gore because I really want to see how he does here, if he just gets eaten up or if he can actually keep up the pace and make something happen with those hards.
And I'm going to stand with Rogue in the action because the action, getting saved by a safety car again, all he has to do really to win this championship is finish ahead of Gore and Max. I'm going to pull out my best Will Buxton here. All the action has to do is finish first to be first. No, but in all honesty, his only mission right now is to not let Gore and Max finish anywhere ahead of him for these last 3 races. And right now, he looks set to do that, especially with Gore on the hard tires. The safety car is in, and Rogue, I think he's waiting.
Oh. Yeah, doing this game right here, and he goes, and Max is going to be under trouble right off the bat.
He was definitely trying to make sure that the action didn't get any straight line advantage on him. It seems to have worked. Lawrence, I think, is going to get the move here on Max down the inside to turn 3. Gore, it seems to be pretty racy on the hards. Is keeping up with Max. As Lawrence gets by, and he's going to go for his teammate now. All right, I'm loading in. Got it up.
We live?
It's live. It's loading. Just give it a minute. I pulled the trigger a second. A couple minutes too early. Boo, boo, boo. All right, while the game is loading in for me, we've restarted the stream. Give a moment to shout out to our sponsors, Driver61 and Grid Finder. Well, I guess we're Grid Finder approved. I don't think they sponsor us. So Driver61, not only do they do analysis of the real F1 news on one of their channels, they do sim racing driver coaching. Our Tier 3 used it last season, and we heard some great feedback from them. If you use the code ARC Driver61, you can get 25% off. So give them a shout. It really did help. Like I said, some of our Tier 3 guys, they really liked it. As I'm back in. Alrighty.
Yeah, so Gore got overtaken by Smithy on the straight just now, and Lawrence is still behind Rogue. Rogue pulling in one hell of a defense right now.
Sorry for the technical errors, folks. I'm not sure why my game and OBS both decided to crash at the same time. We are back.
Smithy is making a charge, though, and he will be attacking Action and Max very shortly, but those two, likely they'll pit soon to go on the softs, but I don't know. We'll see. See what happens.
As Max is going to try to get around the Action.
Yep. Everyone's still very bunched up, no one's falling off. Everyone's right next to each other here.
Yeah, as my intervals are finally populating. All right. Max is within 2/10 of the action. Still can't get around him. Let's see with the second helping of DRS if he can get it done. Going down the inside to turn 3.
Smithy, though, trying to take advantage of this.
Good clean racing there as Max gets moved on.
Gore catching up to that bag. Oh my, it's gonna be so good. One mistake of a driver and that could be collecting another driver here. That's how close they are. And
we missed that Lawrence got by Rogue and he's already pushed a 1.5 second gap. Rogue is probably, I think, on raw pace, the second fastest driver in Tier 1. Would you agree with that? Oh, we've got yellow flags in Sector 2. SoCal.
Something happened.
But that just shows you how incredibly fast Lawrence is. Rogue has in the past done last first challenges in our top tier here himself, and Lawrence is just making him look like a rookie. It's just incredible. I'm going to go with the action because he's going to be the first car with DRS in this DRS train. Well, maybe not. I think he got it through the detection zone.
He did. He did get it.
So Lawrence sets a 1:23.6 as the fastest lap, and Max is also derating. You can see the red light on the back of his car. His action got a little bit. Oh, Smithy's spun. Oh!
And that's taking out 2 drivers there. I don't even know what happened. I just come back and I see
Smithy's spinning. That's another safety car. So everyone's going to come in for fresh softs.
Definitely. And this, honestly, this helps Gore a lot.
Yeah, he's going to be right behind the action. But I think what happened, and unfortunately we can't ride along with the safety car, somehow Smithy got spun. Let's see, he's typing in Discord. Smithy got spun and Guinness comes through. And since we don't use ghosting here in Tier 1, just probably ignored the yellow flags and plowed right into him.
That's normally the case, but we did not see it, so we obviously have no idea what really happened. But
all I saw
what happened.
All I saw was Kaginis smashing into Smithy and Smithy's rear end going into the air. It was a pretty violent crash. So, Smithy, if you can hear us, if you're watching the stream, let us know what happened there with that incident. All right, so we've got Lawrence is the first guy in. Rogue comes in. Max in. Action in. Gore in. As Calculus stays... No. Yeah, Calculus stays out. Pretty much everyone else pits as Action picks up a 5-second speeding penalty. No! That's not going to be great for his championship defense. He does come out just ahead of Gore. So Red Bull doing their job, getting the faster pit stop done.
I wonder why Calculus did not pit.
He's probably just thinking, the only real way to improve his lot is to stay out and see what he can do for 4 or 5 laps.
He does have a penalty, but I don't know, it's a very odd action 5, Gore free, Ginger free, Calculus free. So
right now the Actions just got to pull a 2-second gap. I say just. But if he can pull a 2-second gap to Gore, his penalty will be neutralized as things stand right now. So I think the safety car will maybe even come in this lap if Ruda catches up here. Let's see. Green lights are on the safety car, but that's because I think Calculus is too far behind it. Yeah, there's the yellow flashing light. So we'll be under the safety car, I think, for one more lap, but let's see as we come to the timing line at the end of Sector 2. Yeah, it's going to stay out. The lights are still on. So we'll get one more yellow flag lap. and then we'll go racing on lap 24. So we'll have 6 laps of racing, assuming we don't have any more incidents.
I'm surprised that we're up to 3 safety cars for this race. Only 13 drivers in it.
Yep. If the drivers can hear us, just stay on track, don't crash, don't DNF, and you get points tonight. But Smithy has let us know in Discord chat what happened. He just said that he was following the action, went on a curb. Action got loose and he got loose. Action was able to save it. Smithy was not, spun around, and then, as we saw, got collected by Guinness. So, unfortunate end for Smithy. He was having a pretty decent race. He'll be back next week for our next race. A safety car. I'm going to do my best Lewis Hamilton impression. The safety car needs to pick up the pace. It's dangerous out here. I guess, well, I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't say anything about tonight. The earlier real race today.
What can we talk about? I don't know.
Yeah, so I wish we could talk about today's race. It was exciting. For those who haven't watched yet, it does appear that the new regulations have shaken things up quite a bit. Not just in terms of the running order, but in terms of on-track action. There was quite a bit of racing going on, unlike what we've seen in the past 8 years of real F1 as we get the indication the safety cars coming in. So if you haven't watched today's Bahrain Grand Prix, give it a watch. It is worthwhile. All right.
We're coming in. Calculus.
And I don't think he's let a restart, at least not in our league. So this will be a novel experience for us all. Let's go on to the tire compounds. He's on 8-lap old mediums, whereas SoCal's on 8-lap old softs. So he and Calculus were the only two to stay out. But I'm going to go on. Well, I'm going to stand with Calculus. You watch Gore in action, Van. As Calculus just pulls a pretty decent gap to SoCal. As Lawrence is already going for a move. Backs out on SoCal. But I think he's going to try a move here. As it looks like he gets around the outside of SoCal into turn 3. So that's move done for Lawrence. Let's see if the action can hold off his rival Gore. They're both on the same tire compound. They've been pretty well matched on pace.
Rogue and SoCal going side by side into turn 7. That's can be very dangerous at times, and they do make it out, but that's going to allow Max to get very close and possibly dive down the inside of SoCal. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is, but it probably won't work for him, and he barely touches him. That's close, and now that's going to allow action to possibly now send it in the inside of this turn, which is pretty dangerous as well, but looks like he's going to back off.
We've got the race car centipede going on here right now.
Yep.
Nose to tail. Max is still trying to get around SoCal. Looks down the outside.
And they're still going to be side by side.
The extra grip is really showing its advantage, and Max has got the move done. His action.
And action hits the rear of SoCal.
Did he get any damage? No, he's good. So he's good for now. As Ruda is going to go around Ginger. It looks like. Yep, Gore. Ooh.
Oh, and Calculus spins, and he has a moment, and that's going to collect another car, and now his car is flying all over the place. And I'm surprised he did not kill someone else there.
He bounced into Gore. He bounced Gore off the wall.
Virtual safety car.
I think it's too late in the game. I think the way the rule set works for a full safety car.
I saw that happen. Basically, I was looking at Lawrence as he passed by Calculus, and Calculus went on the curb, and that unsettled his card as Rogue came by. I don't know if Rogue maybe touched him there, or if Calculus fully lost the card, but definitely had a moment on the curb as Rogue was attempting to get by him as well, and then that happened. I'm surprised he did not collect someone else, but he did say he collected or bounced off Gore or something like that.
Yeah, he bounced Gore into the wall, and Gore has left front wing damage. He has 8% left front damage. Does he come in to fix the wing, or does he ride out the understeer?
I think you just have to ride it out. I mean, what's he really going to gain? He'll be so far back without any time to really catch up.
Because this VS will probably end here in a few moments. So the action is going to extend his lead over Gore as things stand right now. Let's look at the
Max will get a podium, though.
Yeah, Max is set to get a podium. He will move up a little bit, but he wasn't quite nearly as close to the action as Gore was. As SoCal Pits, Gore stays out. VSC has ended. Looking at the penalty situation, so Ginger's got 6 seconds. So that'll neutralize Action's penalty relative to him. But Gore is still within 2 seconds of the action still. But with that wing damage, he's probably going to fall back over time. But we'll see. We've got 4 laps of racing left. I think he's just going to fall off a little bit. You can't see any damage, but our telemetry that one of our members, Kia, generously coded for us shows us the actual data the game has, which is very helpful. But so Gore is actually keeping up with Ginger. Does Ginger have damage? Ginger does not have damage. So despite that little bit of wing damage, Gore is able to keep pace with Ginger and the action, which is pretty impressive. And Rogue is within half a second of Lawrence. So Rogue's turned up the wick a little bit. They have about the same battery.
We forgot, right? But action will fall down to 6 when they cross the line.
As it stands right now, yeah. I had expected Gore to drop some time just because that little bit of wing damage, but he's sticking it out pretty well. So yeah, he will get ahead of the action. It won't be enough to jump him ahead into the lead for the championship, but it will definitely cut down that gap by a couple points. Rogue is actually keeping touch with Lawrence pretty well. Unlike with a safety car, as Gore picks up a 3-second penalty, that's huge. That's going to allow Action to keep track position on Gore. So that's big news for the Action. Just bringing home the action and you'll extend your lead relative to Gore. But Rogue is really burning through his battery to try to keep up within DRS of Lawrence as he opens that flap. But as I was saying, unlike with a safety car, DRS is immediately reactivated after a virtual safety car ends. So they already have DRS. As we come down into turn 15-16, Rogue dropping a little bit of time, but staying within that 1 second mark, really burning up his battery. Making up a couple tenths with the DRS, but not quite enough, as Lawrence still pumping in the fastest laps of the 122. I think it was, did I say 7 or 9? I don't recall. So he's within 4 tenths now, so he is making up some ground with that DRS.
Ginger going on the inside of Action into turn 4, but Action doesn't really give that much space, and they collide.
So Ginger was down the inside. It looks like Ginger tried to force Action off the track a little bit there. Is that right? But if I'm Action, so he's now 1.7 or so seconds clear of Gore. I don't want to race Ginger too hard because, as I mentioned earlier, my only goal, if I'm the Action, is just to finish ahead of Gore. And right now, he will do that based on penalties. His Action has really burned up his battery.
Oh my! Okay, that was Ginger's fault right there. Anyone could have saw that door being closed.
That door was closing. Yeah, kind of a repeat of a couple of incidents we had last week at Austria through a flat turn. We maybe have to revisit as Ginger goes
he
deep.
Locks up. Yep, that's okay. So if your action, you're really enjoying the fact that you did not give up the spot that easily.
Yeah,
the first time.
I think it looks like Ginger went deep because he did have some wing damage, and he retires. Why did he retire? All he had to do was finish.
Very interesting.
Well, he went into the pits. I think it said he was pitting. But yeah, that's an interesting call. Rogue is still within half a second.
His car is still on track, actually. That's SoCal's getting by it.
Well, I'm going to go on here because this is the battle for the win. Rogue has got it. He's got a chance to do it here. He's going to have to get a really good exit from turn 12. But he's derating. He's got no battery. I don't think he's going to do it because Lawrence still has 20%. But let's see. Can he get it done with the DRS? Using all that battery. They're both blinking. No, he's not going to have enough to get it done. As they both get loose, though, this is a good battle for the win. But I think Lawrence is going to do it, barring a major mistake. He does go a little deep into turn 15, but he's going to come across the line for 2 in a row with the fastest lap to win the Australian Grand Prix. Max comes through 3rd easily to pick up another podium. Action P4, Gore P5, Ruda 6, SoCal Blazer.
Oh, Ruda got past both of those. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He had no penalties.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
SoCal, pretty happy to finish 7th, but I think he would have liked to be a little bit higher. He was up there for a little bit.
Yeah. So who's your driver of the day, Van?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Probably we could just go with the race winner. I didn't really see anyone stand out that much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Action, battled back from some stuff, some tough early issues, but Lawrence doing the last to first challenge for 2 weeks in a row, I think we'll give it to him, just because that is some impressive pace, holding off Rogue there at the end to keep the win and setting the fastest lap. So there's your driver of the day, RK Lawrence, and P2 Rogue and Max celebrating. I don't think enough drivers really finished to warrant interviews. What do you think, Van?
I agree.
Okay, so we're not going to do interviews here, so I just need to catch the race director. But so your finishing order is Lawrence, Rogue, Max, Ruda, Action, Gore, SoCal Blazer, Ginger, Calculus, Guinness, Smithy, Kubi, and Beeline, Phenom. Let me get the incident log. There's quite a few this week, it looks like. I assume there will be some reports coming our way. Did you post the results already?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for co-commentating with Van. We'll see you next week when we go to, I believe we're at Suzuka. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.